Hi, I'm Petra from Lillipin. If you're in your late 30s or 40s and you've started noticing changes in your body that you can't quite explain, you may be wondering if you're starting perimenopause. Perimenopause doesn't necessarily announce itself with one obvious moment, like when you started your first period, for example. It often starts with little changes that are easy to put down to stress, getting older, or simply having too much going on. So today, I'm going to take you through 10 signs that mean you're entering perimenopause. And some of them might surprise you. Let's start with the one that many women notice first. Your periods start changing. Your periods don't necessarily just stop when menopause approaches. They may become shorter or longer. They might suddenly be heavier than they used to be, or much lighter. You might have two periods close together and then go weeks without having one at all. And those changes can be one of the first clues that your hormones are beginning to fluctuate. Now, the second is your sleep. Your sleep isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've always been a good sleeper, and now you're wide awake at 3 in the morning, wondering why your brain thinks this is an appropriate time to start the day. You might have trouble falling asleep, or wake up repeatedly during the night, or wake up much earlier than you want to. And of course, poor sleep can make everything else feel harder the following day. You suddenly feel hot, you're sitting comfortably, and then completely out of nowhere, you feel a wave of heat spreading through your body. That's the third point. Hot flashes can begin during menopause, and they don't always look like dramatic hot flashes that we tend to imagine. At first, you might simply notice that you're getting warmer more easily than you used to. Or you may start waking at night feeling hot or sweaty. You may be hot one moment and cold the next. And yes, there are cold sweats too. Now, number 4, your moods feel different. You might feel more irritable or get angry more easily. You could also feel more emotional or suddenly find that things get to you that never rocked your boat before. Something that wouldn't normally bother you can suddenly feel completely overwhelming. That doesn't mean every bad mood in your 40s is caused by hormones, obviously, but life at this age can be stressful enough on its own. But changing hormones can affect mood, and for some women, that change is very noticeable. Now, number 5, anxiety suddenly appears or gets worse. Now, this one can be particularly confusing. You might find yourself worrying more, feeling on edge, or experience anxiety when you've never really considered yourself as an anxious person before. Some women even notice strange, intrusive what-if thoughts. What if something happens to someone that I love, for example? What if something goes wrong? You may find yourself thinking, why on earth did that just pop into my head? And if you experienced anxiety in the past, you may notice that it becomes much harder to manage. Now, if that sounds familiar, you're certainly not the only woman wondering where this sudden anxiety comes from. Number 6, your memory seems to have disappeared. You walk into a room and you have absolutely no idea why you're there. Or you're talking with someone and halfway through a sentence, you suddenly can't remember an ordinary word that you've said 1,000,000 times before. It just vanished. You might find it harder to concentrate sometimes, or feel as though your brain just isn't functioning properly. Now, these cognitive changes are commonly reported during the menopause transition. And yes, they can be incredibly frustrating. Number 7, your body starts changing, and perhaps the number on the scale hasn't changed very much, but your clothes suddenly fit differently. You may notice more weight settling around your middle, or you find that maintaining your previous weight takes a lot more effort than it did before. Now, hormonal changes can play a role, but they're not the entire story. Changes in muscle mass, activity, sleep, stress, and aging itself can all contribute. So, if your body is changing despite doing much the same things you've always done, then don't automatically assume that you're doing something wrong. Number 8, your breasts feel different. You may start noticing breast tenderness or soreness again, and some women also notice that their breasts seem to get bigger or begin to change shape. And yes, the perkiness may start to gradually disappear, and they may slowly give in to gravity. But hormonal fluctuations during menopause can contribute to breast tenderness and changes in how your breasts feel. You might also notice lumpiness or changes in how your breast tissue feels. Many breast changes are benign, but any new lump, persistent pain, or unusual change in your breast should be checked by a professional healthcare person rather than simply assuming it's perimenopause. Now, number 9. Sex feels different. Your interest in sex may decrease, increase, or simply become less predictable. You may also start experiencing vaginal dryness, discomfort, or itching that was never there before. And if this is one of the subjects women sometimes feel uncomfortable talking about, but there's absolutely no reason to suffer quietly. There are treatments and practical options that can help, so it's worth mentioning these changes to your provider. Number 10. You don't just quite feel like yourself, and this one isn't just something you can easily measure, but it's something that many women describe. You're still going to work, you're looking after your family, you're seeing friends, you're doing all the things that you normally do, but somehow you don't quite feel you. You may feel discontent, unsatisfied, or restless, but you don't even know why. And some women may even feel low or slightly depressed without being able to pinpoint an obvious reason for that. And sometimes it's not until several of these little changes start happening together that you begin to wonder whether they might actually be connected. Now, having one or two of these symptoms doesn't automatically mean you're in perimenopause. There are other reasons your periods, sleep, mood, memory, weight, or energy can change. But if you've started noticing several of these changes together, particularly in your 40s, it may be worth talking to your doctor or healthcare professional about whether perimenopause could be part of the explanation. And if you're not happy with the explanation that you're getting, don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Most importantly, you don't have to wait until your symptoms become unbearable before asking for help. If you'd like to understand more about perimenopause, including what's happening to your hormones, how long the stage can last, and what you can do to manage the symptoms, you'll find our complete perimenopause guide at lilipin.com. And I've put the link below. And if you'd like more straightforward research-based information about menopause, healthy aging, and the everyday health questions that we all have, subscribe to the channel and join us here at Lilipin. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.